I saw something curious in my learning last week. The Baal Shem Tov says in the Keter Shem Tov that the panemiut of Gevura is Rechavot, which is connected to this week's parasha because Yitzchak dug the well of Rechavot. Now, I've always wanted to know what's the panemiut of Gevura, but I think the lesson is actually really universal. Everybody should hear this. So allow me to explain. I looked up in the Pnei David, which is by the Chida, and I also saw some Sichot by the Lubavitch Rebbe, and I think I understand this concept now, and it's very, very interesting, and it's got a very practical lesson, so bear with me. Firstly, what is Gevura? Now, Gevura is the part of our soul that appreciates and values justice. Gevura does mean justice and severity. It's placed in tension with a part of our soul that values kindness. And they are in tension with each other because kindness is all about saying yes. Yes, you can have. Yes, you can have more. Everybody can have. I'm never going to say no. Unlimited giving. Whereas Gevura is all about no. It's about setting limits, about setting rules, regulations, punishing sometimes. And they are placed in tension with each other, but they are both the foundations of morality in our society. The world needs chesed and the world needs gevura. It needs kindness and it needs justice to survive. Now, the famous teaching of our Torah is that Avraham was the epitome, the paragon of kindness. And Yitzchak was the epitome of gevura. Pachad Yitzchak means the fear or the awe of Yitzchak. Fear and awe are feelings that we feel because of our intrinsic value for justice. The left side, whereas love is the feeling that is associated with kindness. In fact, there are 5 loves and 5 fears pertaining to the 5 fingers on the right and the left hands, respectively. Specifically, the panemiut of chesed is love. What does panemiut mean? Well, I find that the best way to translate panemiut is personalized. If I'm smiling at you and cheering you up right now by giving you a Devar Torah, don't take it personally. I'm just being kind. The Torah tells me I have to be kind, and I'm doing this for everybody. It's nothing specific to you, no offense. However, if it is specific to you, if I'm smiling because I want to cheer you up, because I love you, that's it. That's what I said. It's love. It's not just chesed anymore. It becomes love. So, what is the panemiut of Gevura? Well, to explain that, I want to start with a mashal of 2 balei tzedakah. The first one gives tzedakah once a week, and the second one also gives tzedakah once a week. They both sit down at a table, and anybody who wants money can come. But they have 2 different approaches. The one who does it with a chesed approach says to everybody, you can have a large sum, £1,000. Everybody gets £1,000. Come and collect your check. That's all you have to do. Here's an envelope. Yep, you can have. Now be on your way so the next one can have. And he gives loads of money this way, huge amounts of money to everybody. Great guy, right? The Gevura guy, on the other hand, is a bit more restricted. He says, sit down, tell me what's your problem, let's figure this out. Oh, so that's how much you need. Most of the time, it's way less than £1,000, so he ends up giving a lot less. And he's a busybody, he gets involved. He's like, tell me your story, otherwise I'm not going to give. It sounds like he's a bit more anti-chesed than the first guy. However, some people really do need a lot more than £1,000, and because they sat down and explained it to him, he's willing to give any amount, just so long as it's justified. So, as I said, most people would assume that the first guy is the bigger, kinder, nicer, better guy. He's doing charity in a much more noble way. But if you look more closely, you could say that he's a bit impersonal. He's almost like he's saying, I don't want to hear your life story, I don't even want to see you. Just come, take your check and go. Whereas the second guy wants to get to know you. He's adding a personal touch because he values you and he values the situation, and he wants a valuable assessment of what to give. Now, this is what actually makes Gevura ultimately better than Chesed, which is why Hashem wanted to create the world out of Gevura and not Chesed. Now, isn't this a surprise? Didn't we think that Gevura is a bit of a more negative side of things? I mean, it is the side that says no, after all. It's a side where there are punishments. It's a side where there's fear and anger and hate. Even the Baal Shem Tov says that projects that are started and founded on Gevura are more likely to fail because of those initial feelings of distance, restriction, fear, anger. These projects can put people off. They can create distance even from Hashem. Even Hashem's Gevura is scary. That's where all the suffering in the world comes from, all the pain, all the punishments, all the difficulties. And even though we know they're good, we definitely protest against them and would rather we didn't have to go through that. So it is a surprise that Gevura is better. So we need a different understanding of Gevura now. So let's explain what is Rechavot. Rechavot means spaciousness. Paradoxically, the more you restrict yourself, the more you are expanded on the inside, the bigger and more unlimited you become. A lot of people ask this famous question on the Torah: isn't the Torah very restrictive with all its rules and regulations? I just want to be free. And the answer given is that only with the Torah's rules and regulations can you truly be free. Because otherwise, if you set no limits on yourself at all, you just end up becoming a slave to your programmed, instinctive passions and desires. You become a slave to the animal inside you. In order to truly grow beyond that, you have to start off by setting restrictions. And by going through that process, you end up humbling yourself, humbling the animal that's inside you, until you get to the point where you become truly strong, which is another translation of Gevurah, strength. You become so strong that you become truly unlimited. And that is what Gevurah is. Gevurah just means unlimited chesed. Chesed, by definition, is limited. When somebody gives to me, I become content, more content, until I'm full. I can't take any more. I feel rich beyond my wildest dreams. If you give me any more, I can't take it. And if Hashem tries to give more, which is what he does, he wants to give us unlimited goodness, it blows our fuse. It blows the fuse of our ego. It hurts. It's severe. It's severe kindness, but once our ego is out the way, we can receive unlimited kindness. And also, that rechavot, that spaciousness within, is what allows us to welcome somebody else into our heart and our mind. And when we do our kindness towards them, it's more personal, naturally. Gevurah is naturally more personal than chesed, and that is why it's superior. One practical lesson from this is that the limitations that we have in life are usually of our own making. It's because we can't imagine being in a better place, and that is what prevents us from going to the better place. But as we have this spaciousness within and gain it and become more humble, we start to see more possibilities, and that's what enables us to get to places we never thought possible. And another practical lesson is back to the wells. Why are the wells mentioned in the 6th parasha? Avram's wells and Yitzchak's wells? Well, the answer is very simple. Avraham brought water to the person from somewhere else. He brought external inspiration when he was teaching people Torah, teaching them about Hashem. This method is good. Avraham had plenty of followers and great success. The only problem is, once he passed away, the Plishtim were easily able to stop up these wells. He was teaching everybody there's one God, and they said, nah, there's many gods. And those people, their inspiration didn't last. Once Avram passed away, we never heard about his followers ever again, really. So Yitzchak had to come along and dig wells of Gevurah, wells of Rechavot. What he did was, he went to the dry place itself, these people who didn't know about Hashem, and he dug there. He found inspiration within. And to do that, he had to make a personal connection and figure out what inspires this particular person. And that is a type of inspiration that is permanent. Inspiration is not contagious. You have to find it, every person has to find it within themselves. So this is the timeless lesson of the wells, truly timeless. And this is the only way that we can really bring God into the world. Shabbat Shalom.